Hello, everybody. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario on August 25th, less than a week till Labor Day. Hope everybody had a nice weekend. So, yeah, summer's almost over, getting ready for school. What is on the week schedule today? Over the weekend, they did the Sankofa Square in Toronto. I saw that. It's where young Dundas Square is. They renamed it Sankofa Square, which I hate. I hate the name. I think they should have just kept it Dundas Square. It sounded fine to me. And it's just like, it's like our Times Square. Imagine renaming Times Square like Zulu Square with like no consultation. And that's what happened. And hopefully somebody changes it back someday. It's just the stupidest name. Has nothing to do with Toronto. It's a commie playbook there. They want to destroy your culture, erase the identity, and they do that by naming the most popular square in Toronto after some African tribe. And then, okay, next thing, our Prime Minister is on, hold on one sec. Our Prime Minister's on a European trip again. He loves Europe. Well, I mean, he's part European. Went to Ukraine, and then to Poland, and then Germany. And he's basically a globalist, so he's going there because they want to fight Russia. They want to get us into a war with Russia. And they're, basically making war plans because they have no desire to end this thing with Russia in Ukraine. So obviously, and he even said during the trip on Ukraine, it's like he's not ruling out Canadian troops going to Ukraine as a ceasefire, part of a ceasefire. And it's like, yeah, most Canadians probably aren't behind that. And obviously, he committed more money, $2 billion more to the Ukraine war effort, and then on top of like $20 billion we've already given. We're like one of the highest per capita donors to Ukraine, which is it's ridiculous, like big money laundering operation. So yeah, he's just like Trudeau on Ukraine, just on everything really, literally everything, immigration, DEI, LGBTQ, Ukraine. Just he's smarter than Trudeau. He's more boring, and he's, but he's just as bad when it comes to these issues. So, yeah, he wants to get us into war with Russia and send Canadians there. I don't know who's going to send. We have no army. And so, yeah. And what's Pierre? We got Pierre also chiming in. He hasn't said anything about Ukraine because they're identical policies on Ukraine, but he's starting to act all tough on immigration, Pierre. And it's just like so disingenuous, this guy, because he was literally like wearing the turbans and praying in their language, going to their things, promising no deportations and more. He wanted to fight for direct flights from the Punjab, from Amritsar. So now he's like basically saying the exact opposite. So it's like, man, I don't believe the guy at all. I don't believe, and anybody who changes their opinion based on what you want to hear and not on their print, what they believe in, I don't really trust that person. So at least, Carney and Trudeau believe in the shit they're pushing. Like, I think they honestly like it and they believe in it. And I hate it. I don't agree with it, but at least they're consistent. Pierre's all over. He just looks at a poll. But I don't know how he's going to play that game because he's got a lot of Indian MPs and they want attention. They like the attention, so like you can't really have it both ways. So we'll see. Like the Liberals at least say, "Hey, yeah, we're the pro-immigration party." And then what's the next thing here? Oh, Israel. On international news, I saw today they bombed a hospital. One of the last. I think it was like the last hospital in Gaza, and they did a double tap, which is they bomb it ahead a first time, and then the ambulance shows up and the reporters, whoever, photographers, and then they hit it again when they're gathered, like basically sitting ducks. So yeah, they're double tapped. So yeah, not good. Basically, they're gonna. I think that's their plan, is just to keep bombing them, make life totally miserable until they're like their will to remain in their land will like basically evaporate, and then they'll come to Canada as refugees, or Europe, probably Canada. So yeah, that's what we have to look forward to from our allies over there, our ally Israel. Yeah, and that's it. Lots of stuff going on. It's not good. Not much good news. So let's look at this here. We'll start with the Sankofa. The thing that bugs me about Sankofa is the way it was done. It was done so like on the low down, like no consultation, just quick, and they guilt tripped anybody who. The way they did it was like they introduced it, and then they were ready to guilt trip anybody, like a counselor or residents or whoever, to like any counselors or any citizens that oppose the renaming. They were ready to call them like, "Oh, you're racist, you're this, that," and it worked because nobody really said anything. And there is like the very small minority, me included, who are like just it's embarrassing almost. Like it's like you're acting like you want to destroy your own country, like by not having a problem with something like that. Anyway. Hold on one sec. It bugs me. Okay. I got this video here. Yeah, I said this is the new Sankofa Square. It's obviously not Sankofa, but I thought it was funny. So what did I say? Sankofa Square in Toronto is really rocking. Well, sounds like it. Okay.
Discussions on renaming Dundas Street and the square began in 2020.
The city of Toronto is celebrating the grand opening of Sankofa Square.
What is Sankofa?
What is Sankofa?
I have no idea.
It's a name that derives from Ghana.
And what does that have to do with Canadians?
Ghana, I don't know what the fuck.
Did you know that Canada's unique identity is built on the foundation laid by our Anglo and Franco founders? From Sir John A. Macdonald's vision to the legacy of the United Empire Loyalists, our heritage is what makes us truly Canadian. But today, our history is under attack. Across the country, they're trying to erase our story, renaming streets like Dundas, removing plaques, even before this statue of Sir John A. Macdonald was in a box. Why do these institutions remove things that honor Canadians that built this nation?
The significance of the word Sankofa from the Akan language of Ghana to go back and get it. And people are going to be getting it tomorrow, aren't they?
All of it.
This isn't just about names, it's about erasing the values, sacrifices, and achievements that define who we are. That's why the Dominion Society of Canada is here, to organize, advocate, and protect what makes Canada, Canada. We believe our history and identity are worth preserving, not rewriting. If you agree, join us and become a member at dominionsociety.ca.
Yeah, like,
Help us keep Canada's heritage alive.
it's Dundas
for
Square
generations.
and will always be Dundas Square. Like,
Long live Canada.
it'd be nice if there was like a, it'd be nice if there was a,
Discussions on renaming Dundas Street.
it'd be nice if there was a candidate in the next Toronto election that would say that if I get elected mayor, I'm going to change your back to Dundas, but there won't be because these commies. Yeah, just horrible. Okay. Hey, we'll get off on this Dundas thing in a second. But like, this is, and they had like, I wish I was there yesterday when they renamed it, or they had the grand opening, but they had all the security too. It's like, what are you gonna do, you know? But that's it. This is what they, like, does that, it looks very, a lot of diversity there. It's weird, man. It's like they're trying to piss people off, like, and then you can't say anything. So, but you know, they could have done this any square. Like, there's a million squares in the city. They could have called it Sankofa Square if they were really that into it. But no, they had to pick the most popular one in Toronto. And right, you know, down in that heart in that district, it's all like Victorian architecture, English history there. Oh, let's name it Sankofa though. Like, it's so annoying. And yeah, Toronto hosting the first ever Sankofa. They even gave it a day, Sankofa Day. Today at the newly named rink Sankofa Square. Yeah. Anyway, Toronto's fucked. It is. It really is. I was born in Toronto, and what's going on there is just this. Give Olivia Chow a couple more years. What's the election next year? I think. Who knows who they'll reelect? If they'll reelect her, or they'll put in that dummy John Tory again. Oh my God. So our next thing is our prime minister here. So yeah, he's all like, yeah, we're going to go to war, no problem. Let's see what he says here. There it is. He says, Ukraine's fight is our fight. Yeah, fuck that, I say. We got to end this globalist war. I've been saying that since it started, really. But these guys want to keep it going. Like, I think, you know, their ultimate goal, the Europeans and Canadians, and a lot of people in the U.S., like the deep state, neoconservative wing, they want to break up Russia. And that's where all the economic sanctions and all sorts of economic pressure is aimed at. And obviously the war, they want to try and hurt Russia on that side. But I don't think it's going to end well for any of us if we get into like a hot war with Russia. But that's what our leaders, they want, you know, because they're globalists. And, you know, there's a lot of Jewish sentiment against Russia because, you know, the way they were treated by the Tsar. So they'd love to like tear it apart into little pieces and then, you know, come in and invest in all the new states. So yeah, whoever's for this war, they can go over and fight, because I'm not sending, nobody in my family is going to fight that war. So, and like the money too, who knows, like this money's basically gone up in flames. If this war was prevented, anyway, they're going to steal it no matter what. But since the start of the war of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 22nd, 22, Canada has committed nearly $22 billion in multifaceted assistance for Ukraine, highest per capita contribution among G7 countries. So yeah, $22 billion. Oh. Like, we could have used, I know that's a cliche, but we really could have used that here for Canadians, you know. Such a waste of money. So 22 billion Canadian that Canada donated is equivalent to $550 per capita. If you assume there are 40 million Canadians, since only about 18 million Canadians pay taxes in any given year, the 22 billion is equivalent to $1,200 per taxpayer. Some low-wage workers had all their taxes go to Ukraine. It's such a joke. You know, we're screwed. People don't care. Because even Pierre hasn't said anything. He's for it too. He would have sent the money too. So, in Canada, we're screwed with our representatives. They don't listen. So yeah, where's it in Germany now? He's going to Germany to talk with the Germans about getting us into war with Russia. They say, oh, we're doing economic deals or economic talks too, but no, the reason that they're meeting in Europe is to go to war with Russia. European leaders refuse to sit down and talk with Russia, even though the proxy war is being lost. And 69% of Ukrainians want immediate negotiations to end the war. The chant "stand with Ukraine" is now a euphemism for fight to the last Ukrainian. The casualty rate on the Ukrainian side will spike dramatically over the next few weeks and months as the front lines collapse. Yet these leaders still insist the war is peace and diplomacy is treason. War is peace and diplomacy is treason. Yes. It's crazy, I know. It's crazy. But it's good. It's going to be interesting to see what happens in Ukraine in the next 6 months, because people, they can't keep going like the way they're going. So something's got to crack in that. Either they send more troops from Europe or the war ends. That's the only two ways it's going to go. So yeah, during his trip there to Ukraine, committed another $2 billion to Ukraine, while Canadians can't afford food or housing. Ottawa sending vehicles, munitions, air defense drones, counter drones, all sorts of good stuff. And like, I thought we were like under like threat from the U.S. Like, we shouldn't be working on our defense here. Sending, like, maybe we should be sending Canadians. Instead of disarming Canadians, we should be sending them. Send me a machine gun, and I'll protect this neighborhood from the American invasion. They'll never do that. And then now we got fat traitor Doug Ford spouting off on the Ukraine war. Between Trump and Ukraine war, he needs to shut the fuck up. And he actually mentioned both Trump and Ukraine here. Look at this fat pig.
For Vladimir Putin, here's what he had to say.
We'll never, ever waver in support of the Ukrainian community and the war that's going on. Putin is an absolute tyrant, and he never back down. You give that guy an inch, he wants your country. That's what he wants, and he won't stop. And I'm disappointed with President Trump as well.
You know, he puts Trump.
He should be putting a hard line that Putin doesn't get an inch of property, not an inch.
So again, some strong words that we're hearing.
Yeah. So Doug Ford is getting into foreign policy now, so you know he's running for prime minister. This fat pig. He should get his fat ass to Ukraine and fight if he feels that strongly. So yeah, you know he's criticizing Trump and he's talking about foreign policy decisions. So crazy. All right. So that's it for Carney and the Ukraine BS. Like, I don't know, man. Like, we're screwed because, like, Pierre's all for the Ukraine war. So we're in it till the end, it looks like. I don't agree with it at all, but I don't have much. All right. We'll go quick. Let's do this Israel thing quick. Which is just, you know, you think sometimes you're being a little hard on them, you're criticizing them all the time, and you got this tunnel vision, but then you see something like this, and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, they are demons, I guess. No, like at least their army, for sure. They're the leadership, the political leadership, for sure. 4 journalists, including a freelancer who worked with AP, are among the 8 killed by an Israeli strike on southern Gaza's Nasser hospital. I believe that number's gone up. It's like 20 people. This was like right in the morning. Okay. I have some video. Here it is. So what happened was they did a double tap. So they bombed the hospital, and then the people that showed up got bombed. The people that showed up in reaction to the bombing got bombed. And these are precision drone strikes on a group of paramedics retrieving bodies in Gaza. So when you see the pictures of Gaza like flattened and Israel saying, oh, we had to, they're hiding behind civilians and whatever. They could do precision strikes. Like, that's a bullshit story. They want to clear that area out, get rid of those millions of people, send them to Canada, and and then go on to the next conquest. That's crazy. Look at that. That's crazy. That's like demon behavior, man. Demons. So yeah, it's called a double tap, and you know, kind of an asshole move, but that's what they're good at, I guess. Crazy. So I said, it's obvious when I saw that, I was like, I already knew, because they're planning on a new offensive on like the last remaining city that's still standing, Gaza City, and you knew that their plan all along was to get everybody out of there, and to have a reason to get everybody out. So they use October 7th as that reason, and then they're gonna keep bombing the shit out of it, assassinating, starving people until people just have no will to stay there anymore, and then they'll go wherever, and probably end up in Canada. So it's obvious Israel's plan is to keep bombing shit until nothing is left, forcing them to leave, and then Canada and the other Western countries will get hundreds of thousands of more refugees. And even the Wall Street Journal, is very, 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 very ultra pro-Israel. And if you would have, a story like this 10 years ago would never have been in the Wall Street Journal. Israeli strikes on hospital in southern Gaza killed at least 20 people, including at least 3 journalists, medical staff, patients, and rescue workers. Yeah, that's Wall Street Journal, and they're so far up Israel's ass. So if they're printing a story like that, you can't defend their, a lot of the time, these kinds of places like Wall Street Journal would, you know, carry water for Israel, like say, oh, it was an accident or wasn't intentional. But now they can't because they'll lose readership, whatever readership they have. And meanwhile, in the West Bank, where I'm sure we'll get more refugees from there too, uprooting trees in the West Bank. I guess they got rid of a bunch of olive trees, but they do that. They also salt the land, so you can't grow any crops, and then they poison wells. So basically anything that they can do to make the people in the West Bank leave. So yeah, we'll see how many more atrocities will happen. And I'm sure that once that flood of refugees from Gaza opens here, it'll come big time. All right, now our final segment will go to immigration, our third world immigration shithole file, and who's Pierre is making the headliner of tonight's file because he's been starting to tweet all anti-immigrant, more and more hardcore, let's say, trying to be really to get a point across. So, and the conservative, like the influencers on X, and the kind of like the conservative, whatever they are, supporters, they take these crumbs and they're like, oh my gosh, look what Pierre's doing. He's going to close the board. And it's like, he's not really saying that. And he is saying it good. Like some of the stuff he's saying is good, but it totally contradicts what he said, like, not even less than 2 years ago, where he was doing that thing up in Nathan Phillips Square with the praying and whatever, that weird language, and wearing the thing and calling for no deportations and for more direct flights. And so basically it's the opposite of what he's saying now. So hard to take someone seriously when they do that. It's such an important issue too. It's not like a minor issue. So here's Anthony Koch. I don't know. Not very smart, I don't think, but whatever. But this is like how he reacted to some of Pierre's statements. Me when Pierre starts embracing going full based on immigration. So yeah. But Daniel Thierry, y'all get crumbs years out from an election and start celebrating like you won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. It's like, it's funny. And here we have the pleb. He blocked me, but I can see his comments here. He says, we're back. Oh, it's like, whatever, man. They never learn, these guys. They never learn that the uniparty is alive and well. It's conservatives and liberals. So, Pierre ain't going to be around anyway. That's why Doug Ford's trying to replace him, and Doug Ford's very pro-Indian. So that should be interesting to watch. Okay. Next, I saw this video, McTier, Ontario. I don't even know where that is. I'm going to have to look it up. McTier, Ontario. So a bunch of Indians are there playing war games, shooting up the place, and what are they doing here? McTier, Ontario. Where the hell is McTier? So it's up by Georgian Bay, I guess. Okay. Anyway, up in cottage country. So, let's read this. As an avid firearms license holder, hunter, fisherman, and crown land user, this is extremely concerning. Over last year, the activities that have taken place near McTier, Ontario are not only extremely unsafe but illegal. Careless discharge of a firearm, discharging a firearm from a motor vehicle, and discharging restricted firearms. As seen in the videos posted below, it has been reported to the police numerous times, but it continues to happen. Something needs to be done about this before someone loses their life. So yeah, there's like a bunch of bullet shells, bunch of guys from who knows who these guys are, Khalistan people, who knows. Like, what are they playing for? Rambo? So yeah, our traitor government, they want to disarm us with this gun buyback nonsense. And well, meanwhile, these Indian invaders are playing Rambo in the woods. Okay. Here's the latest video of the LCBO getting robbed. I think this is a recent one because they're dressed in the summer garb. There was one going around, but that was from last year in the winter. So this is a new one. LCBO in Kitchener. Imagine being given the opportunity to start a new life in a country, and your first instinct is to steal, deport them all. They don't deserve Canada. They're not even hiding their faces here. Nobody's trying to stop them.
Hey guys, you're on live TV, eh? Live TV?
Okay, I don't mean to be weird, but I'm in love with your rack. That is, can I put my hands on it? Please. I'd be offended if you didn't.
So yeah, sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, this is horrible. Kitchener. Not Toronto, Kitchener. Horrible. Let's see. Someone they have, and you know who's buying this booze is the Indian restaurants. Right? Like, because you're like, why would they probably went to a specific section and got exactly what the guys wanted. All these Indian restaurants, of course. And then here's Pierre's, one of his tweets on immigration. New data. He's saying new data shows Liberals are also on track to overshoot their already high targets for new permanent residents. 207,000 issued so far as of June 30th. So 207,000 permanent residents cards issued in the first 6 months of the year. So he's assuming they'll double that, whatever. Anyway, it's still too much. What am I saying? 207 is too much, let alone 395. Holy shit. So yeah. Every time Pierre talks about immigration, it feels so hollow and disingenuous, though, because it's the opposite of what he was saying less than 2 years ago. Direct flights from Amritsar. So, you're a little late to the party, Pierre. Okay. This video I thought today was it's a funny thing. This Indian rapper, and he's acting all like a gangsta rapper. It's a weird video. I don't know what the deal is because I heard this rapper guy got shot in India last year, so I don't know what the deal is. But anyway, it's a Indian rap video getting beating up Canadians. I'm like, I'm sure that'll do wonders for social cohesion. See this shit. So yeah, could you imagine if it was like a white rapper video? First, I can't really stand rap, but Punjabi rap is the. But if you had a white rapper beating up a bunch of Indians on the street, yeah, he'd be in jail. His career would be over. But here they allowed to do that. I don't know what the deal is. If this is AI or who knows. But yeah, it's only going to get worse because right now, I mean, when they first started coming here, the Indian guys, they're all like, oh, friendly, hey, like whatever you want to hear, they're going to agree with it. But the more that come here, the more they're going to act like this, gangsta Punjab. So that's, makes sense. The more there are, the better, the more emboldened they'll feel, right? It just makes sense. And meanwhile, I don't know if we're there yet, but UK, they look like they're going to explode because they're closer to India, they're closer to the Middle East, they're closer to Africa, so they get a lot of and everybody wants to go to the UK. Like, I don't know if that's the case anymore, but third world, that was like their top destination for Europe. So apparently there's this video going around of these girls holding machetes and basically threatening like a foreign guy. Because, a lot of them are getting raped over there. A lot of the girls, like, it's crazy in Sweden and Germany. So they're carrying machetes now, which is the fact that they're carrying machetes is horrible. But apparently, I don't know how true this is, but they say police arrested and charged the 14-year-old girl for holding the knife. So, if they want the country to explode, that's a good way to do it, because it's just like that guy in Lindsay was... Hopefully, yes. So, it's just like the guy in Lindsay. We're not allowed to defend ourselves. See, you got the one guy doing the video. Yeah, we'll see if they're going to get more aggressive, trust me. The more that come, the more aggressive they will be. I don't know if they can fight, though. The video is not very tough, that guy. But, like I said, we're getting in trouble for defending yourself. That's the theme here.
That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She has fucking 12! Where's her fucking touching me? She has fucking 12 and you just tortured me, man! Bring my fucking torture me!
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
Like, why is this dude even recording these girls? So, yeah. It's pretty bad when the girls are carrying around machetes, I don't blame them at all, to be honest. I don't blame them at all. So, so there's the Indians are now robbing LCBO equipped with a hockey bag. For diversity is our strength. At least they're using a hockey bag, all right? I thought this was interesting in Australia. Australia's kind of going through the same thing as Canada. I think England, UK is ahead of us. But Australia is in the same path as us. So Australia has taken in more Indians in 5 years than it has Greeks and Italians in 100. Isn't that nuts? I was talking about this the other day, how there's barely any Greeks in Canada, and they all assimilated and or went back to their country. Same with Italians. But and I bet you the same exact thing in Canada is more Indians have come to Australia in 5 years than there has Greeks and Italians in 100. That is nuts. And there's a lot more Indians to come. Endless supply of Indians. Here's another on the Punjab rapper. Foreigners will make content like this glorifying violent assaults on white Canadians, and it will be ignored, glorified even. white Canadians will train self-defense in a park, and the state broadcaster comes down on them trying to ruin their lives. Yes, it's totally true. It's totally double standard, man. It's like you do a club and you're a terrorist. But it's funny, Dave comment here, they'll get their ass kicked like the rest, and they can fuck around and find out. We'll see. They're going to need a few more million Indians to be able to fight like this on the street. Because I figured one Canadian could take 10 Indians easy. And the good question is why? Why is there so much immigration? You think, okay, why would somebody want something like this? But if you're rich and you're part of the elite, you don't care. It's for you. It's more. All that matters is more money, more power. So, why do the elites need more migrants? Then more labor reduces the wages for the companies. More consumers increase demand and revenues. So, like for Canada, the Canadian companies are loving all these immigrants coming in. There's millions of new customers. You know, that's really all they care about. They're going to live in their gated communities, so they don't really care about, cultural differences and all that. And crime or housing. And then the mixed, confused identity, different ethnicities flooding the country, makes it easier for it to control the whole mess. So, yeah. And then saw this on banner spotted in Calgary, Alberta. Remigration now. And I thought, okay, that's cool. We should do that in Sarnia here. I need help, though. I can't do it myself. Because we have the 402. It goes to the Blue Water Bridge to the U.S. So that would be like a really high-profile spot to put it. So maybe we should get together, Sarnia people, and do it. That's probably illegal, too, eh? Like, because it's a highway, probably a violation of some traffic act. But we'll still do it. Okay. Here's Marty. Marty's becoming more out of the race closet a lot. I think he's reached it. He's out. Canadians are becoming intolerant. Is this part of the plan, or were the Liberals just wrong thinking immigration would solve their tax shortfall problem? So yeah, maybe they want us to get fighting, and then they, use it as an excuse to clamp down on the internet and just people in general. And this National Post article on Pierre, conservatives pull ahead as affordability and cost of living concerns grow. Yeah, it's one poll, and it's like, who cares? They're a bit ahead, but it's like 6 months after the election. You needed, that's the poll you wanted 6 months ago, not right now. So, yeah, it's funny. So that's our immigration file today. That's basically it. More of the same shit, man. So, what can you do? So yeah, we're going into war. Our government wants to get us into war with Russia. The Indians are making fantasy videos about beating us up. And Pierre's going to pretend that he's tough on immigration. So, until the next election, which who knows how many years is away. So, that's about it. We'll see what happens the rest of the week. The next broadcast tomorrow, August 25th, or August 26th, Tuesday. And until then, everybody have a nice night. Thank you.